What's going on, everyone? It's bright. I can barely even see if the screen is on, but I'm sitting here with Heather, and I'm sitting here with Zach, Dr. Zach, and Dr. Mr. Heather, or Dr. Mrs. Heather. Okay. And we're sitting outside at this picnic bench right outside the clinic, which this is like, now of course there's a plane going overhead the second we start this. But what we're going to talk about is Dr. Zach has these little spiders in here. Okay, there's spiders all over the table. Anyway, and all over the seat. All right, we're covered in spiders. Whatever. Anyway, Dr. Zach has everything he needs to be a winner as he builds his chiropractic practice, because he's got no shame in his game and he's got no fear.
That's right.
And he went in yesterday to Gold's Gym, where we're going to be doing Move Wall for fitness professionals, training their trainers, helping out with a bunch of stuff. And they gave us full right to go in and do screenings and such periodically. So he's testing the waters, and he and I went through some stuff prior to him going, but like obviously not in the detail that that we should have, but that's okay. So and just real quick as a side note, if you're just watching this and you don't know a whole lot about Move Wall University or what we do or what it's all about, we teach a lot of the communication stuff as well, on as far as like how to do this successfully. So like the topic we're going to cover right now is like one of many that we do inside Move Wall University, of not just how to put corrective exercise into chiropractic practice, but then how to actually take that to the masses, build a practice, get people engaged. And that's what Dr. Zach is doing right now. Is he's taking advantage of trying to reach out to the most qualified patients that we typically want to see, those that work out, those that exercise, that are on the quest to get healthier. Now, technically, the tier up from that are people that work with personal trainers, because they are already looking for guidance from someone else. The people that just go to the gym, some of them feel like they know everything already, all right? And that's where you're gonna have to understand your audience. You're gonna have to like quickly identify what kind of person they are, you know, kind of like we were talking about before inside that big flow chart we did.
Yep.
Right? And so are they an exceptional person? Meaning, do they think that, I mean, they've run 12 marathons, they've won every contest in the world, and they need to be validated how exceptional they are. And if you don't validate how exceptional they are, like really quickly, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to choose you as a leader. They're not going to give you the time of day, because they're like, who are you? You're just, you're just some punk kid, and I've done this. You're not going to tell me anything. And so it's knowing how to handle those kind of people. And then you have the other people that like go to the gym and don't know what they're doing at all, and they're hurting themselves like crazy, and they're open to guidance maybe. Those are more of the people that work with personal trainers. Sometimes, not to say that's all that works with personal trainers, but that's some of it. So anyway, long story short, Dr. Zach went to the gym yesterday to do a screening, and here, I'll let you tell the story just briefly, just like summarize it, Cliff Notes version.
So I went there for about 3 hours. I decided to put a sign up saying, what is the 3 main things that you have to do to bench press? I sat up right in front of the office, or the front desk, and got avoided like the plague.
Okay, so that's the Cliff Notes version. So he told me this morning, and I sent him a really funny Marco Polo and made him laugh. And Dr. Zach is just he's just a nice guy. He is a nice guy. He's a great communicator. He's very outgoing. He's not shy. He is like, he'll run towards the fire and he'll do whatever it takes. So he's going to succeed for sure. There's no doubt. It's just a matter of tweaking the approach. And so when he was telling me how things went from yesterday, I said, okay, here's a couple things I'd change. So first off, when you go to a gym screening and you're going to do a screening, there's like traditional screenings of like, hey, come stand on this thing and see what your posture looks like. We don't do that. Or, hey, come on over here and like, have you had your spine checked? You could do that, but we don't do that. Instead, what we're doing is we're trying to do like a pattern interrupt, to like catch their attention, to appeal to the hardcore weightlifter who maybe thinks they already know something, and now maybe they're going to be challenged by someone who's going to teach them something new. So for example, if people there are doing like bench, deadlift, or squat, those are the main basic movements in overhead press, how do you talk to that? And how do you also talk to the soccer mom that doesn't even know what bench press is, but she sits on the like bench press machine and the shoulder press machine? So it's being able to like kind of appeal to everyone, so they all think that they should probably chat with you and see what's going on. So he has a sign. The sign said the 3 things you must know before you bench press. So here's the deal with that. That's only going to appeal to people who bench press. The soccer mom is not going to self-identify that she bench presses. So she's gonna think that doesn't appeal to me. You have the other guy that bench presses already thinks he knows everything. That's not gonna really appeal to him, maybe, I don't know. So I think that's one sign you should have, because that's like a pattern interrupt a little bit, makes them go, wait, what? And that's what you want a sign to do.
Yep.
You want a sign or the thing you say to them to make them say, wait, what? And if it doesn't make them say, wait, what? Then it's not effective as far as a pattern interrupt, okay? Now, here's what I had suggested that Dr. Zach does is, one, you have a table set up we have a nice tablecloth with our clinic banner on it. And then on the table, you have some like pamphlet type stuff, just so it looks like there's something there. But then we have a home mobility kit that we have our patients get, and we're taking 3 pieces out of that to basically do an ethical bribe with someone who wants to schedule an appointment and come in and go through a spinal exam, movement assessment, postural assessment, whatever we're going to end up doing with that. And those 3 pieces are the neck trigger point tool, double lacrosse ball, and a red mobility band. All right. I feel like there's spiders crawling all over me, so I'm like scratching my head and stuff. These little spiders all over this table, like these little tiny red spiders. Okay, anyway. So the thought process for Dr. Zach would be, first, don't set up by the front door, because when you're at the front door, if you know about going into like a grocery store and you got like someone at the front door selling Girl Scout cookies, you usually do what? You pretend you're on your cell phone, like you were saying, right? Just so you don't have to talk to them, because you're like, I don't want any Girl Scout cookies and I don't want to tell them no, so I'm just gonna like pretend I'm doing something. And it doesn't give you a choice. You have no choice but to talk to this person, so you're being forced into the initial interaction, which is uncomfortable. So you're already starting on the wrong foot, I think. So I think you need to set up inside the gym, further back in the gym, not where everyone's working out, kind of off to the side, but not like in the dungeon where no one's ever going to see you. Yep. That way it's their choice if they want to come and talk to you to an extent. But also in a place that has enough traffic that people are going to walk by and you could like comfortably say something to them. And the thing I would say to them, I wouldn't say, hey, have you had your spine checked? I wouldn't say, hey, you want to come, like what I would say in a tone that is not desperate and that is not too nice. Okay, and that's another thing. That's hard for Dr. Zach, because he's just a nice guy naturally. And he's married to Heather, and she likes that he's such a sweet, nice guy. But sometimes the general public, their first impression is, if you're nice, too nice, they kind of step on you. But if you're like authoritative and polite, then they're like, oh, who is this guy? Maybe he has something to offer. Because another thing, and this is the same thing I dealt with when I was in practice, when I started as a chiropractor, I was 22 years old, and I looked like I was like 18 years old. And so Dr. Zach at least has facial hair, which helps. Okay, but for me, I didn't really, or at least shaved. So I looked really super young. And so people would judge a book by its cover and think like, who's this punk kid that's going to tell me what's going on, And after a couple years, don't worry, you'll work hard and you'll be all stressed out and you'll look old in no time. Okay, so don't even worry about that. I'm just joking. So anyway, then from there, what you do, my recommendation was Dr. Zach would say something quick to people walking by, and he would say, hey, just real quick, I am here from a clinic called Gonstead Spine and Wellness up the street. We're here because Gold's Gym invited us to be here. And I know you're working out, so I'll let you get to it. But swing by on your way out so I can tell you what we're doing only today for Gold's Gym members. It includes some different mobility tools that you'd probably be interested in. And that's it. So I'd say something just like that, right? So it's like, that's a couple sentences. It'll take 15 seconds to say that. But I would say that. I would say, hey, just real quick, not trying to interrupt your workout. So I'd probably say that first. Hey, real quick, not trying to interrupt your workout. Just wanted to make sure that when you were done working out, you didn't miss out. My name's Dr. Zach. See on my shirt, Dr. Zach, right? From Gonstead Spine and Wellness. It's a big clinic up the street. Gold's Gym invited us to come in. We're doing something special for Gold's Gym members today. It involves some tools in a mobility kit. I think you'd probably be interested in it. Come see me on your way out, whatever, okay? And that starts the conversation. They might right there be like, okay, so what is it? And then you have a conversation with them. And now you just start a conversation. Okay. Oh, well, here's what it is. And actually, hey, have you ever been to a chiropractor before? Or even a better question, since we are a Gonstead clinic, and our clinic's called Gonstead Spine and Wellness, we do Gonstead chiropractic, biophysics, and functional movement, is I would say, have you ever been to a Gonstead chiropractor before? Why would you say that? Because people might say, yes, I've been to a chiropractor before. Most people are like, well, what's Gonstead? It forces them to ask a question. And then you can start talking to them. You can ask them some more questions. But you wanna make sure there's almost like a 3-to-1 ratio of like 3 questions to every 1 statement that you make. Or even take a statement and ask it in a question form. So like saying something and then adding the words, wouldn't you agree, at the end makes it a question. Okay? So be like, hey, you know, I can see that it looks like obviously you take your health very seriously and you work out. I mean, you got twice as much muscle as I do. Maybe one day when I grow up, I can be like you. You can make like a joke like that, right? And you say, you'd probably agree that understanding proper movement patterns and whatnot are important to be really strong and injury-free in a bench press, right? Am I right? So now you just made a statement, you made it a question. Because then that requires them to respond. If you're already engaging in a conversation with them, right?
Yeah.
And so then you can say, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, this is after you're talking to them, right? Like, you're not gonna like try to stop them with that weird questioning line, because like they're walking by, they're like, who the hell are you, right? But it's like after they've stopped and after they're interested. So you just ask them questions like that, and then you segue into, well, here's what we're doing today, here's what's going on, and then something that we're building is going to be called the Right to Exercise. I'm actually filming it tomorrow with trainer Tony. We're taking bench press, overhead press, squat, and deadlift in any patterns that resemble that, whether it's on a machine or free weight, and then we're going to build in a quick little like public education of here's the patterns that should be functional, and here's what functional means, and here's the most evidence-based, scientific, progressive warm-up that you should do before you exercise. And you're going to use these 3 tools, which is the neck trigger point tool, double across ball, and red mobility band. So that's what we're building. And of course there's a big diesel truck parked over here, but that's cool. So anyway, Dr. Zach's going to be at it again on Saturday, and we will give an update as far as using some of these new techniques. But the goal with this is going to be, he's going to collect people's emails because he's going to give them access to the Right to Exercise. When he has to talk with them, he's going to explain what that is. Eventually we'll have like a poster up that talks about the Right to Exercise. You write stuff on a dry erase board. Kaylee is very nice and artistic, and she drew a dry erase board for you. It looked cool. I bring 2 dry erase boards on 2 easels, so you can have 2 messages that you give out there, so that they can read it, see if that attracts them. You can say your quick little spiel of like, hey, we're doing something, you should come back and see us, okay, later. And it's almost like a takeaway. Like you're not ready to like tell them a bunch of stuff right now. You're planting the seed of like, hey, I know you're busy, come on back, so that they can go like, well, no, I'm really not that busy. Like, yeah, what are you doing? Or, yeah, you're right, I'm busy. Okay, thanks for respecting my space and my time and not trying to interrupt me. You know what I'm saying? So either way, it's a win-win if you address it like that. All right. So that's what I would start with, and then once you get and then from there, the way that we do it is we then offer for them to come in and do a consultation and exam if they seem like they're already interested in what you're doing with like a basic movement assessment, some of the spine stuff that you can explain to them, possibly check them. And then you're going to say, okay, so something that we're doing today that we only do in person is we have this special offer. These tools right here are normally, $49, $55, and you can actually get these for free after you come in and complete a consultation exam and this and this. This is a ethical bribe. This is what we call an ethical bribe, and they laugh and they joke a little bit, for something that basically takes someone who probably is going to need our help either now or in the future. It just gives you an opportunity to come in and see our facility. And so it's no pressure, super comfortable. You just come in, see what we're about, and you get this kit after you go through a spinal exam and learn a little bit more about what's going on with you. Sound good? And then you get them scheduled right there. You get their phone number, their email, all that stuff. And then if you don't schedule them and you get their other information to get access to the Right to Exercise, that's then going to send an offer extension sequence that goes to a page with a countdown that's going to allow them to grab that mobility kit if they take advantage of it in the next 5 to 7 days. And it's going to have our information for the clinic. So you're going to automate the process. You're going to send them to that for all the leads you collect. Then probably have a system where like a week later you call them, or maybe even prior to that, you call them, you reach out, you leave a voicemail, be like, hey John, just real quick, this is Dr. Zach. I met you at Gold's Gym a couple nights ago. Hey, it was great talking to you about, you were talking about your neck and this. So I take a couple notes when you talk to each person. I used to do that. I used to get people's info, and I'd write little notes next to it of what we had a conversation about. And then I'd refer back to that in the voicemail. That makes it more personal. And then and I'd say, hey, I was just calling you because that whole thing that we did, it actually expires tomorrow. Give me a call, shoot me a text if you're still interested, and we can get you in. And then sometimes that's a nice touch of you reaching out, because you'll get a hold of like maybe 1 out of 10 people that you call. Okay. So that's that. All right. So hopefully everyone on Facebook that's watching this, look at that, just in time. So as soon as we're going to be done, the loud diesel truck's going to drive away. So everyone on Facebook that's watching this, if you have any questions, comment below if you have anything to add. But we've done lots of these events, whether it's a one-on-one event or a one-on-many event. I think this is a good place to get started, because you can usually get leads and generate a potential new patient right now, versus some of the lunch events. You can get people now, but some of that's also a long game. You have to set the thing up, you have to go into it, you got to buy food, like doing like a lunch and learn.
Yeah.
A screening, it's your sweat equity. It's you having to like swallow your pride and being cool and talking to people. And also I would go in and I would probably wear like Dr. Zach shirt and like jeans. Okay? Yeah. And now we have a jet flying over by. Jeez. Like a big loud jet. Maybe next we'll have a helicopter land right behind us or something. So yeah, like that, or I'd even wear like a Gonstead t-shirt. Okay. Just dress super casual so that you're approachable. And then also why Heather's sitting here is because Heather, she's a little pregnant right now, but that's okay. But Heather should go with you because she might be more approachable. So look at that jet. Okay, sorry for the background noise, everyone. But anyway, this is just something that we were planning on talking about. And I said, let's do a Facebook Live so everyone else can hear the whole process. So Saturday you're going, you took notes, you've been recording this, and now you have it recorded for all the MoveWell University people out there who are also seeing it on their Facebook page. Do you have any questions?
Not right now. No.
Do you have any questions?
Not yet.
No? Okay. Okay, so you just do that, you rinse and repeat, we talk about it again, and then you'll get in your groove, and then you'll be like, hey, I went for 2 hours, and I got 8 contacts, and I have 1 person scheduled. That's like totally successful.
Yeah.
Because you can do that twice a week, 3 times a week, and that's it. I mean, that's what I did. I did that at a Gold's Gym in New Mexico. I did it at a baseball field like twice a week, and then I would set up talks at like a Staples or something. I'd come in for their staff meeting, do like a safety thing, and then like 3 people would come in from that, and I would just like consistently every week though I did screenings at Gold's and baseball field. That was my constant. I always knew that was gonna be my thing. Some weeks it produced nothing, and it was like it knocks you down, right? But you talk to people, so you're like, I don't care. And then some weeks you schedule like 4 or 5 new patients.
Yeah.
And that's how I built the practice. This is back in the day. It worked then, it still works now. So, all right, cool. Thanks to everyone that's on here. Mohammed, Kevin, and then we had a bunch of other people that has a number up top. It says 8, but I don't see those people down below. So the incognito people are off the grid. Thanks for watching. Comment below. Check out MoveWellUniversity.com. My phone's about to die, and I'm sure there's another diesel truck about to pull up. So we're going to get going. Bye.